to Say Less I Love You? Are you ready for some twisty fun? Let's meet our cast.
Hi, I'm Jacob Stone, CEO of Stone Hospital Group.
And I'm Nyla Thomas, the best nurse this hospital has ever seen.
Or so she'd like to think. I'm Lori, her best friend.
The name's Derek Radcliffe. I'm Jacob's incredibly handsome lawyer.
Hilda Stone, Jacob's mother.
Hey there, I'm Trixa, Jacob's first love.
Emphasis on first. Anyway, we're the cast of Say Less I Love You, Tyla Walker's brand new serial.
And now, let's start the show.
Chapter 90. Jacob. I stab at my steak, the knife scraping against the china with an irritating screech. The tension at the dinner table is palpable, matching my foul mood. My parents exchange glances, clearly noticing my brooding silence. "Jacob, dear, what's troubling you?" my mom asks, her voice laced with concern. I grunt in response, shoving a piece of meat into my mouth. The last thing I want is to discuss my feelings with them. Father clears his throat. "You've barely touched your food. Is something the matter at work?" Before I can deflect, Trixa pipes up. "Actually, it might have something to do with Nyla losing her job recently." My head snaps up, eyes narrowing at Trixa. She continues, oblivious to my glare. As a board member, I'm privy to operations and staff turnover. It seems Nyla was terminated for cause. My mom's eyebrows shoot up. For cause? But wasn't she a good nurse? I clench my jaw, the guilt I've been trying to suppress bubbling to the surface. "I fired her," I admit through gritted teeth. "You what?" Father's voice booms across the table. "Why on earth would you do that?" I drop my fork with a clatter. "Because I was angry, all right? I found her with Kevin Shaw and I overreacted." "Jacob, you jealous prick!" Julia seethes, jumping out of her seat and stomping out. My mother responds calmly. "Well, she has the right to move on." I stare at my mother, dumbfounded. The words that just left her mouth seem so foreign. I wonder if I've misheard. Hilda Stone, showing compassion for Nyla. It's as if the earth has suddenly decided to rotate backwards. "Jacob, you and Trixa are happy and getting married. You should be okay with Nyla moving on." "You're right," I mutter, pushing my plate away. The smell of perfectly cooked steak suddenly turns my stomach. I should be okay with it. Trixa reaches for my hand, her diamond engagement ring catching the light. "It's just so sudden, don't you think?" I pull away, unable to bear her touch. My mind races, replaying the scene at Nyla's apartment. Kevin, barely dressed. That damn sweater I gave her. The hurt in Nyla's eyes. "We do have a responsibility to Nyla," she continues, her voice uncharacteristically soft. "You may not be marrying her, but at one point you did love her. If she was a good nurse and valuable to the hospital, we should see if we can find another position for her." I blink, trying to process this unexpected turn of events. "I guess you're right," I manage to stammer out. "I never thought you would say that." A slight smile plays at the corners of her lips. "I'm not a monster, Jacob." The tension in my shoulders eases slightly, but a nagging doubt lingers in the back of my mind. This is the same woman who, not long ago, was plotting to remove Nyla from my life entirely. What's changed? "That's surprisingly thoughtful of you, Mom," I say, unable to keep the skepticism from my voice. "But why the sudden change of heart?" She takes a sip of her wine, her eyes never leaving mine. "People can surprise you, Jacob. Perhaps I've realized that my previous approach was misguided." Trixa shifts uncomfortably beside me. "But Hilda, surely you don't think—" "Trixa, dear," my mother interrupts smoothly. "Sometimes we must rise above our personal feelings for the greater good. The hospital's reputation is at stake here." I lean back in my chair, studying my mother's face. There's something in her eyes, a glimmer of... what? Satisfaction? Triumph? It's gone before I can place it. "Well," I say slowly, If you're serious about this, I suppose we could look into positions at one of our satellite clinics. Keep her in the system without the complications of her working directly under me. I'll ask around and see if we can get her another job so she can continue her grandfather's treatments, she concludes, her voice unnervingly calm. Father's fork clatters against his plate. Well, I'll be damned. Hilda, are you feeling all right? She shoots him a withering glare. I'm perfectly fine, William. I simply believe in being practical. She nods approvingly. I'm glad we're all in agreement. Now, shall we move on to dessert? As the maid brings in a tray of elaborately decorated pastries, I can't shake the feeling that something's off. My mom's sudden change of heart is as unsettling as it is unexpected. But for now, I choose to focus on the relief that washes over me. Maybe, just maybe, I can make things right with Nyla after all.
Chapter 91. Nyla. I jolt awake, my heart racing as reality crashes down on me. No job, no safety net, just a ticking clock counting down to financial ruin. The weight of it all presses against my chest, making it hard to breathe. Damn, I mutter, fumbling for my phone. The screen lights up, revealing a barrage of missed calls and texts from bill collectors. My stomach twists. I force myself out of bed, my legs shaky as I stumble to the kitchen. The coffee maker sputters to life, filling the air with the bitter aroma of cheap grounds. As I wait for it to brew, I lean against the counter, my mind a whirlwind of worry. Okay, Nyla, think, I say to myself, tapping my fingers against the countertop. 2 months severance. That's something, right? But even as I say it, I know it's not enough. Not with Grandpa's treatments, not with rent, not with everything. The coffee maker beeps, and I pour myself a cup, the scalding liquid burning my tongue. I barely notice the pain. A sharp knock at the door jolts me from my spiraling thoughts. I shuffle over, half expecting another bill collector. Instead, I'm greeted by the imperious figure of Hilda Stone, her designer suit a stark contrast to my rumpled pajamas. Did you come to gloat? I ask, my voice cracking with a mix of anger and despair. Hilda breezes past me, her perfume filling my tiny apartment. Absolutely not. But you do know that if you don't pay, they're going to kick your grandfather out of the trial, and he'll have to come here and live with you. That means he's going to die with you. Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stumble back, gripping the edge of the kitchen counter for support. You can't be serious. That's cruel. It's reality, Hilda says, her eyes scanning my cluttered living room. You should also know that you're probably not going to find work as a nurse anywhere in the tri-state area. If the Stone Hospital group fired you, no other hospital is going to hire you. Your skills are effectively useless now. I feel the blood drain from my face. You're lying. Jacob can't just blacklist me like that. Hilda raises an eyebrow. Can't he? The Stone name carries weight, Nyla. You'd be surprised at how far our influence reaches. My mind races, trying to find a way out of this nightmare. There has to be something, some way. Oh, there is, Hilda says, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. But the question is, are you willing to do what it takes? My panic rises like a tidal wave, threatening to drown me. But before it can crest, Hilda's voice cuts through the chaos in my mind. I have a solution. While we figure this out, I'll pay you double your salary, but I can't just give you money. You'll need to work for me. I blink, trying to process her words. Work for you? Doing what? Hilda's expression hardens, her lips pressing into a thin line. You'll be a maid in the Stone family mansion. The words hit me like a slap. I stumble back, gripping the edge of my kitchen counter. Excuse me? You heard me correctly, Hilda says, her tone brooking no argument. It's honest work, and it will keep your grandfather in treatment. My mind reels. The thought of scrubbing toilets and washing dishes for the family that's caused me so much pain makes my stomach churn. But then I think of Grandpa, his frail form hooked up to machines, fighting for every breath. Hilda's words hit me like a freight train, each syllable driving home the harsh reality of my situation. I can't believe what I'm hearing. She's not just offering me a job. She's handing me a life sentence. You will work for me, serving me and my family, she repeats, her voice as cold and unyielding as steel. In return, I'll pay you, cover your health insurance, and pay for your grandfather's treatment. My throat tightens. The offer dangles before me like a poisoned apple, tempting but deadly. You're not on any employer plan now, so you have no choice, Hilda continues, twisting the knife. No one else will hire you to do anything in New York City, unless, of course, you want to go be a prostitute. I flinch at her crude suggestion, anger and humiliation burning in my chest. How dare she? But even as indignation flares within me, a small voice in the back of my mind whispers that she might be right. In this cutthroat city, with my grandfather's mounting medical bills, what other options do I have? This is insane, I mutter, running a hand through my tangled hair. You want me to be your maid after everything that's happened? Hilda raises an eyebrow. Would you prefer I rescind the offer? Your grandfather's health hangs in the balance, Nyla. What's more important to you, your pride or his life? Her words are a punch to the gut. I close my eyes, trying to steady my breathing. When I open them, I see Hilda watching me, her gaze calculating. How long? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Until we sort out this mess, Hilda replies. Unless, of course, you'd rather explore other options. I hear fast food restaurants are always hiring. The jab stings, but I force myself to ignore it. And my grandfather's treatment? You'll guarantee it continues? Hilda nods. As long as you fulfill your duties, your grandfather will receive the care he needs. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for what I'm about to say. Fine, I'll do it. A smile plays at the corners of Hilda's mouth. Excellent. You start tomorrow, 6 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. As she turns to leave, I call out, Wait, does Jacob know about this? Hilda pauses at the door. My son has more important matters to attend to than the hiring of household staff. This arrangement is between you and me, Nyla. I suggest you keep it that way.
You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF Audio Bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla.
Chapter 92. Trixa. I sit at the grand dining table, my fingers drumming a nervous rhythm on the crisp linen tablecloth. The tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. Jacob, seated beside me, shifts uncomfortably in his chair, Hilda, across from us, wears a smug expression that makes my skin crawl. The door to the kitchen swings open, and there she is. Nyla, once my rival, now reduced to this. She glides into the room, a silver tray balanced expertly in her hands. Her face is a mask of professionalism, but I catch the flash of pain in her eyes as she sets a steaming dish before Jacob. "Your roast, sir," she murmurs, her voice barely audible. I clear my throat. "Nyla, could I have some more gravy, please?" She nods, her movement stiff. "Yes, Miss Swan." As she ladles the rich brown sauce onto my plate, I notice her hand trembling slightly. A drop splashes onto the tablecloth, and I see her flinch, waiting for reprimand. Hilda doesn't disappoint. "Girl, be more careful," she snaps. "And while you're at it, my water glass needs refilling." Nyla hurries to comply, but Hilda's not done. She peers into her freshly filled glass, her nose wrinkling in distaste. "This cup isn't clean. Bring me another." I watch as Nyla retreats to the kitchen, her shoulders tense. When she returns with a new glass, Hilda deliberately knocks her wine glass off the table. Nyla drops to her knees, rag in hand, to clean up the spilled wine. I should be smug. This is where she belongs, isn't it? But as she scrubs furiously at the growing stain, something twists in my gut. "Harder, girl," Hilda barks, "or it'll set in the carpet." Nyla's entire body tenses, but she doesn't look up. Her fingers are wrapped around the cloth, scrubbing with a desperation that makes my smug satisfaction curdle into something uncomfortable. Suddenly the roast tastes like ash in my mouth. The clinking of silverware feels too loud, too normal for the scene unfolding at my feet. I hear the scrape of a chair, and when I look up, Jacob's gone. The dining room door swings shut behind him with a soft click that echoes in the stunned quiet. "Whatever." "I think you missed a spot," I hear myself say, pointing to a barely visible droplet near Nyla's left knee. She glances up just for a second, and our eyes lock. In that fleeting moment, I see a storm of emotions: anger, humiliation, and beneath it all, a stubborn pride that refuses to break. It hits me like a punch to the gut. What the hell am I doing? Before I can second-guess myself, I'm on my knees beside her, grabbing another rag from the nearby cleaning cart. "Trixa, what are you—" Hilda starts, but I cut her off. "4 hands are better than 2, I mutter, focusing on the stain and not the shocked silence that's fallen over the room. Slowly, people file out of the room till it's just me and Nyla. Nyla's eyes widen, but she doesn't say a word. We work in silence, side by side, until the last traces of red have vanished from the plush white carpet. "Trixa, can you come here for a moment?" Jacob's voice calls from the study. I hesitate, caught between two worlds. The familiar pull of Jacob's summons tugs at me, but something keeps my feet rooted to the spot. I rise from my knees, brushing off my designer slacks. The contrast between Nyla and me has never been starker. She's still on the floor, rag in hand, while I tower above her in my Louboutins. Nyla looks up, her eyes meeting mine. There's a challenge there, a spark of defiance that refuses to be extinguished. It's admirable, in a way I never expected. "You should go," she says, her voice low. "Your fiancé's waiting." Fiancé? Is that all this is? A game of musical chairs where I happened to be sitting pretty when the music stopped? I know that. I know Jacob doesn't love me. Not when he still looks at Nyla like he's in pain. I start, then falter. What can I possibly say? Nyla sighs, pushing herself to her feet. "Look, I don't need your pity, Trixa. Just go." But I can't move. "This isn't right," I blurt out. "You shouldn't be here like this." She laughs, a short, bitter sound. "Yeah? Well, life isn't fair, princess. Some of us don't have the luxury of choice." Her words sting, but they're not wrong. I've never had to worry about money, about keeping a roof over my head or food on the table. The unfairness of it all hits me like a punch to the gut. "There has to be another way," I insist. "I could talk to Hilda, maybe—" "Don't," Nyla cuts me off. "Just don't. This is hard enough without your guilt making it worse." I open my mouth to argue, but Jacob calls again, more insistent this time. "Trixa, are you coming?" As I turn to leave, I can't shake the feeling that I'm walking away from something important, something real. But what can I do? This is my life, isn't it? This is what I've always wanted, isn't it?
Chapter 93. Nyla. I kneel in the expansive backyard of the Stone mansion, the morning dew soaking through my uniform. The smell of freshly cut grass mingles with a less pleasant odor as I scoop up yet another pile of dog droppings. "Mr. Spot!" Hilda's voice cuts through the air, sharp as a knife. I grit my teeth, forcing a polite tone. "Thank you for pointing that out, Mrs. Stone. I'll take care of it right away." "See that you do," she replies, her heels clicking on the patio stones as she approaches. "When you're done here, I need you inside. The guest bathroom needs attention." "Of course, Mrs. Stone." The words taste bitter on my tongue. An hour later, I'm scrubbing the bathroom tiles, my arms aching from the repetitive motion. The harsh smell of bleach burns my nostrils. This is my life now, existing from morning to night, arriving before the sun even thinks about peeking over the horizon, leaving well after it's tucked itself away. I serve the Stone family like some kind of modern-day slave, trapped in a cycle that feels straight out of the 1700s. Every day I drag myself out of bed, my body aching from yesterday's work, only to do it all over again. The worst part? I can't even complain. I need this job, need the money it brings in, no matter how soul-crushing it is. So I plaster on a fake smile and keep my head down, all while dreaming that Hilda doesn't change her mind and rip my grandpa's life away from me, and sometimes dreaming that she does. "Nyla?" Hilda's voice echoes down the hallway. "Come here." I hurry to the living room, where Hilda stands, tapping her foot impatiently. She thrusts a glass of water into my hands. "Hold this. Don't spill a drop," she commands, turning to fuss with a vase of flowers on the mantel. My arms start to tremble as I stand there, feeling more like a piece of furniture than a person. Hilda continues to adjust the flowers, seemingly oblivious to my discomfort. "Mrs. Stone," I venture after several minutes, "is there anything else you need me to do?" She turns, eyeing me critically. "Yes, actually. The windows in the sunroom need washing, inside and out. I expect to see my reflection in them when you're done." As I nod and turn to go, she adds, "Oh, and Nyla, do try to look less miserable. It's unseemly." I bite back a retort, reminding myself why I'm here. For Grandpa, for his treatment. This is temporary, I tell myself. But as I reach for the window cleaner, I wonder how long I can keep telling myself that lie. I kneel on the cold marble floor, scrubbing furiously at a stubborn stain. The acrid smell of cleaning chemicals burns my nostrils as I work, my knees aching from the hard surface. "Nyla, dear," Hilda's voice cuts through the air like a whip. "When you're done there, I need you to polish the silver, every single piece. We're hosting something next month, and I need it to shine." I look up, forcing a placid smile onto my face. "Of course, Mrs. Stone. I'll get right on it." Hilda's lips curl into a smirk. "Oh, and do be careful with the Tiffany tea set. It's worth more than you'll make in a lifetime." The words sting, but I swallow my pride. "I'll treat it with the utmost care, Mrs. Stone." She lingers, watching me work. I can feel her eyes boring into my back, waiting for me to slip up, to show even a hint of defiance. But I won't give her the satisfaction. Hours later, I'm polishing the last of the silverware when Hilda strides in, her heels clicking on the floor. "Nyla, my shoes need cleaning. They're by the door. Use the special polish. It's in the green bottle." I nod, setting down the fork I've been working on. "Right away, Mrs. Stone." As I kneel by the door, Hilda's expensive leather shoes in my hands, I hear her muttering to herself. "Useless girl. Can't even polish silver properly. Should just fire her and be done with it. My hands tremble slightly, but I steady them. I won't break. I can't. Grandpa's life depends on this job. Is everything all right, Mrs. Stone? I ask, my voice steady and polite. I'm careful to keep any hint of annoyance out of my tone, even though her constant criticism is grating on my last nerve. She glares at me, her eyes narrowing to slits. Just get on with it, and don't forget to shine the buckles. I swear, if I have to remind you of every little thing. I nod, biting my tongue to keep from saying something I'll regret. Focusing on the task at hand, I apply the polish with practiced strokes. Each movement of the cloth is a reminder of why I'm here, why I endure this daily humiliation. Through it all, I keep my head down, determined not to let Hilda break my spirit. I've dealt with worse than her, and I'll be damned if I let some rich lady with a superiority complex get the best of me. Still, I can't help but wonder how much longer I can keep this up before I snap, but I push the thought away. I have to stay strong. I don't have a choice. I thought I was getting a fake marriage, but I didn't know my story was being told by Miss Tyla.
This isn't just any fake marriage, now is it?
No, you introduced me to the devil.
Come on, girl, Jacob isn't that bad.
Oh, I love Jacob. His family, on the other hand.
Beggars can't be choosers, Nyla. You should be grateful I even let Jacob Stone look your way.
I just wanted to save my granddaddy. Is that so bad? Why couldn't you let this be a normal fake marriage? Instead, you put me in a twisty story filled with money, betrayal, power, and lies.
Let's not forget love.
That's what keeps me going. But not gonna lie, Miss Tyla. This story you got me in ain't the simple fake marriage, happy ending I thought it would be.
It's not. Because where would be the fun in that?
Treat yourself to Say Less I Love You. Tuesdays and Thursdays. New seasons premiere every month. Or skip the wait and grab the full series bundle from TylaWalker.com for 50% off. Treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 94. Jacob. I shuffle through the papers on my desk, trying to focus on the impending board meeting. The numbers dance before my eyes, mocking me with their inadequacy. How the hell am I going to explain this mess? A soft rustling catches my attention. I look up, and my breath catches in my throat. Nyla's there, dusting the bookshelf across the room. Her uniform hugs her curves in all the right places, and I can't tear my eyes away. She bends over to reach a lower shelf, and my mind goes blank. The sight of her ass, perfectly outlined by the fabric, short-circuits every rational thought in my head. Damn, I mutter under my breath. Nyla turns, eyebrow raised. Did you say something, Mr. Stone? I clear my throat. Just reviewing some numbers. Nothing to worry about. She nods, a ghost of a smile playing on her lips. Of course. Let me know if you need anything. I lean back in my chair, running a hand through my hair as I watch Nyla move around the room. Her uniform clings to her curves in all the right places, and I can't help but follow the sway of her hips as she works. Damn, she's gorgeous. Even in this absurd maid outfit, she outshines every other woman I've ever seen. The anger that once burned hot in my chest has cooled, leaving behind a mess of complicated feelings I can't quite untangle. I want to hate her for moving on so quickly with Kevin, but I can't. Not when I see the quiet dignity she maintains despite the humiliation my mother heaps on her daily. I notice the dark circles under her eyes, the slight tremor in her hands as she dusts the shelves. This job is wearing her down, but she never complains, never falters. Her strength amazes me, even as it makes my gut twist with guilt. This is your fault, you jealous bastard. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, and I see a flicker of something in her gaze. The fiery defiance that first drew me to her has dimmed, replaced by a weary resignation that breaks my heart. I did this to her. In my jealous rage, I stripped away everything she worked for. I want to go to her, to apologize, to make things right. But the words stick in my throat. What could I possibly say to fix this mess? How can I undo the damage I've caused? So I sit here, paralyzed by indecision, watching the woman I love reduced to scrubbing floors and serving tea. And with each passing day, the wall between us grows higher, built brick by brick with unspoken words and missed opportunities. As she moves to the next shelf, I can't help but notice the graceful way she moves. My eyes follow her hands as they work, remembering how they felt on my skin. Actually, I say, my voice rougher than I intend, could you grab that book on the top shelf? The red one. Nyla reaches up, stretching to her full height. Her uniform rides up slightly, revealing a sliver of skin at her waist. I grip the edge of my desk, knuckles white. She brings the book over and I catch a whiff of her perfume, as intoxicating as I remember. Here you go, she says, placing it on my desk. Her fingers brush against mine and electricity crackles between us. Our eyes lock, and for a moment, the world falls away. All the anger, all the hurt. It's still there, but something else simmers beneath the surface. Something primal and urgent. Nyla, I breathe, barely above a whisper. She leans in slightly, her lips parting. Yes. The tension between us is a living thing, hot and heavy. I want nothing more than to pull her into my lap, to taste those lips again, but I can't. I shouldn't. I lean in closer to Nyla, my heart pounding in my chest. The scent of her perfume fills my senses, intoxicating and familiar. Our eyes lock, and for a moment, the world fades away. It's just us, here in this room, the tension between us thick enough to cut with a knife. Nyla, I whisper, my voice hoarse with desire. She licks her lips, her eyes darting to my mouth. Yes, Jacob? I'm about to close the distance between us when my phone rings, shattering the moment. Cursing under my breath, I pull back and fish it out of my pocket. Stone, I answer, trying to keep the irritation out of my voice. Looks like it's going to be a full moon, a distorted voice says on the other end. My blood runs cold. Damn. Not now. I glance at Nyla, who's watching me with a mix of curiosity and disappointment. What do you need? I ask, turning away from her piercing gaze. Be ready at 9 p.m. at South Street Seaport, the voice instructs before the line goes dead. I pocket my phone, my mind racing. When I turn back to Nyla, she's already retreating to the door, her face a mask of professionalism. If that's all, Mr. Stone, I'll get back to my duties, she says, her tone clipped. Nyla, wait. I start, but she's already gone, leaving me alone with the ghost of what might have been and the dread of what's to come.
Chapter 95. Kevin. I sit across from Nyla at Shake Shack, watching her bite into her burger with gusto. The place buzzes with the typical lunch crowd noise, but I'm focused solely on her. She's beautiful, even when she's griping about work. You wouldn't believe what Hilda made me do yesterday, Nyla says, wiping a smear of ketchup from her lip. I had to reorganize her entire shoe collection, by color, then by designer, then by heel height. Who even needs that many shoes? I chuckle, trying to keep things light. Sounds like a real pain in the ass. That's not even the worst of it, she continues, her eyes flashing with frustration. This morning she had me clean the bathroom with a toothbrush. A toothbrush, Kevin. I want nothing more than to make her bitch ex suffer for the damn he and his family are subjecting her to. I mean, I'm not perfect, I know that. But I'm also not going to put an innocent woman through hell just to get a few laughs. Nyla has been through enough already. I wince sympathetically. That's pretty degrading. Nyla nods vigorously. I feel like I'm stuck in some twisted Cinderella story, minus the fairy godmother and happy ending. I reach across the table, gently squeezing her hand. You don't have to put up with this, you know. There are other options. She sighs, her shoulders slumping. I know. But I need the money for my grandfather's treatment. I can't just walk away. I'm about to suggest some alternatives when Nyla's expression changes. Her eyes take on a faraway look, and I know what's coming next. "And Jacob," she starts, her voice tinged with a mix of anger and longing. "He barely even looks at me anymore. It's like I'm invisible." I feel a twinge of irritation. Here we go again. Yesterday, I was cleaning his office, and he just walked right past me without a word. Not even a hello or thank you. Nothing. I try to keep my voice neutral. "Maybe he's just busy with work?" Nyla shakes her head. "No, it's more than that. He's avoiding me. Every time I enter a room, he finds an excuse to leave. It's like he can't stand to be around me." As she continues to dissect every interaction, or lack thereof, with Jacob, I feel my patience wearing thin. I've heard this same story, with slight variations, on our last 3 dates. He doesn't even try to stop his mom from being the Wicked Witch of the West, he just... She pauses and shakes her head, pain evident in her eyes. He just watches. I can't take it anymore. The constant barrage of Jacob this, Jacob that. It's like I'm dating his ghost instead of the woman sitting across from me. I set down my burger, wiping my hands on a napkin before leaning forward. "You've been complaining all day on this date. About Jacob, about what he's wearing, how he needs to treat Trixa better, you better, how he's always working. Can we please stop talking about Jacob and the Stones and start talking about something else? Maybe even about me?" Nyla's eyes widen, her mouth hanging open mid-bite. She sets down her burger, swallowing hard before responding. "Excuse me for talking about where I spend 12 hours a day, but this is really bothering me and I need someone to vent to." I sigh, running a hand through my hair. The buzz of the restaurant fades into the background as I focus on her. Venting is one thing, but being so preoccupied to the point of distraction, where you're basically thinking and talking about someone else while you're on a date with me, is something else entirely. Nyla's brow furrows, her lips pressing into a thin line. "What are you trying to say, Kevin?" I lean back in my chair, crossing my arms. "I'm saying that I'd like to actually spend time with you, not just listen to a play-by-play of Jacob Stone's daily routine. Do you even want to be here with me?" "Well, if you think I'm just fixated on Jacob, then why are you even on this date with me?" Nyla snaps, her eyes flashing with frustration. I take a deep breath, trying to keep my cool. "I don't know. I thought we had a good thing going, but I'm not sure you've gotten Jacob out of your system." Nyla's anger deflates, replaced by a look of resigned realization. She picks at her fries, avoiding my gaze. "You're probably right. I don't think I've gotten him out of my system, and I probably still do love him." Her admission stings, but I appreciate her honesty. I lean back in my chair, running a hand through my hair. "Then why are you with me?" She shrugs, her shoulders slumping. "I don't know. Maybe we should just be amicable and end this before it gets any more complicated." I nod slowly, biting back my anger. "Yeah, I think that might be for the best." We sit in silence for a moment, the weight of our decision settling between us. The smell of burgers and fries suddenly seems nauseating. "I'm sorry, Kevin," Nyla says softly. "You're a great guy, and you deserve someone who can give you their full attention." I manage a small smile. "Yeah, but I wanted that to be you, and I'm going to make that prick regret ever coming between me and something I want."
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
Can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie Bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, But no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie Bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 96, Trixa. I stride into the Stone family mansion, my red-soled Louboutins clicking against the pristine marble floor. The sound echoes through the cavernous entryway, announcing my arrival. My phone's pressed to my ear as I unleash my frustrations on my poor secretary, who's probably cowering on the other end of the line. I swear to God, if one more board member asks me about Neuromax, I'm going to lose it. I hiss, my voice dripping with venom. Do they think I'm hiding vials of the stuff in my Birkin? For Christ's sake, it's a handbag, not a mobile pharmacy. These people need to get a grip and focus on something else for a change. I'm so over this damn. I pause in front of a gilded mirror, checking my reflection. Perfect. As always. At least something in my life is going right. As I round the corner into the lobby, I stop dead in my tracks. The sight before me is unexpected, to say the least. Actually, it's downright bizarre. Nyla's on her knees, surrounded by the family's 3 massive Bernese mountain dogs. She's got a toothbrush in one hand and what looks like doggy toothpaste in the other. One of the dogs, I think it's Max, is pawing at her arm, nearly knocking her off balance. The other 2 are circling her like sharks, tongues lolling out and tails wagging furiously. "I'll call you back," I mutter into the phone, ending the call with a sharp tap. Nyla looks up at me, her eyes wide with a mix of embarrassment and frustration. Her usually pristine uniform is covered in dog hair and what I hope is just drool. "Ms. Swan," she says, her voice strained, "I didn't expect to see you here." I can't help but raise an eyebrow, fighting back a smirk. Clearly, what exactly are you doing? Starting a canine dental practice? She sighs, dodging another swipe from Max's paw. "Mrs. Stone asked me to brush the dog's teeth. Apparently it's a pressing matter." She blows a strand of hair out of her face, looking utterly defeated. She said something about doggy breath ruining her yoga zen. I frown, my brow furrowing as I take in the absurd scene before me. This is beyond ridiculous, even by Hilda's over-the-top standards. "Doesn't the groomer usually handle this kind of thing?" I ask, unable to keep the incredulity out of my voice. "Yes, but Mrs. Stone insisted it needed to be done immediately," Nyla explains, her tone a mix of exasperation and resignation. As if on cue, one of the dogs, Bella, I think, starts licking her face with unbridled enthusiasm. Nyla lets out a startled yelp, trying in vain to dodge the slobbery assault. I watch for a moment, torn between amusement and something else. Pity? Guilt? It's an unfamiliar feeling, and I quickly push it aside. This isn't my problem. "Well, carry on then," I say dismissively, moving to walk past her and leave this chaotic scene behind. But as I do, Max, the biggest of Hilda's furry menaces, decides he's had enough of the toothbrushing ordeal. Without warning, he lunges forward, his powerful body colliding with Nyla. She doesn't stand a chance. I watch in shock as she topples backwards, landing hard on her backside with a painful thud. The toothbrush flies from her hand, skittering across the floor and disappearing under a nearby cabinet. "Damn," I mutter despite myself. I reach down, offering her a hand. "You okay?" Nyla looks at my outstretched hand for a moment, surprise evident on her face. Then hesitantly, she takes it. "Thanks," she says softly as I help her to her feet. I nod, suddenly feeling uncomfortable. This isn't how things are supposed to be between us. We're not friends. We're not even friendly. But seeing her like this, I turn to one of the maids hovering nearby. "You there, take these furry monsters to the kennel. Have the specialist give them a proper cleaning. I want them back here in an hour, looking like they just stepped out of a Vogue photo shoot." The maid scurries off with the dogs, leaving Nyla and me alone in the suddenly quiet foyer. She's still on the floor, looking up at me with those big, confused eyes. It's irritating how earnest she is. "Get up," I say, offering my hand again. "Hilda won't know about this little incident. Trust me, She couldn't pick these dogs out of a lineup if her life depended on it. Nyla takes my hand, rising to her feet. She brushes off her uniform, a hint of defiance in her posture. "Why are you helping me?" I roll my eyes. Don't get it twisted, I'm not your fairy godmother. But even I have my limits when it comes to Hilda's power trips. I fish my phone out of my Birkin, scrolling through my contacts. "Here," I say, showing her the screen. "His name's Ernesto. He's my stylist, and he owes me a favor." Nyla's brow furrows. I don't understand. "God, do I have to spell it out for you?" I huff. "Take the afternoon off. Go get pampered. Mani, Petty, the works. I'll tell Hilda I sent you on an urgent wedding errand." She blinks, clearly stunned. "But why?" I pause, searching for the right words. "Because you deserve it, okay? Don't make me say it again." Again, Nyla just stares at me. What, like I'm impervious to cruelty? "You work harder than anyone," I force out, rolling my eyes. "You deserve some time off." Nyla's silent for a moment, then a small smile tugs at her lips. "Thank you, Trixa. I appreciate it." I wave her off, already regretting this moment of weakness. Yeah. Just be back before Hilda notices you're gone. And if anyone asks, this never happened." As Nyla hurries off, I can't help but wonder what the hell I'm doing. Since when do I care about the help? But watching her go, a tiny part of me feels lighter. Maybe being the bad guy all the time is more exhausting than I thought.
Chapter 97. Nyla. I grip the edges of the sleek mahogany desk, my knuckles white as I stare at the array of honeymoon brochures spread before me. Each glossy page showcases another luxurious suite, each more intimate and romantic than the last. My stomach churns as I imagine Jacob and Trixa in these settings. "Nyla, darling," Hilda's sickeningly sweet voice cuts through my thoughts. "I need you to arrange something special for the newlyweds. Perhaps a room with mirrors on the ceiling. You know how vigorous young love can be." I swallow hard, forcing my voice to remain steady. "Of course, Mrs. Stone. I'll look into it right away." "Oh, and make sure there's plenty of champagne," she adds with a smirk. "I have a feeling we'll be hearing the pitter-patter of little feet sooner rather than later. Won't that be lovely? You'll get to change diapers again, just like in your nursing days." The words are a dagger to my heart, but I don't let it show. Instead, I nod and smile, my cheeks aching from the effort. Later, at the pre-wedding photo shoot, I'm arranging flowers when I overhear Hilda speaking to one of the guests. "Jacob can hardly keep his hands off Trixa," she gushes. "I've never seen him so passionate. It's almost embarrassing." I accidentally prick my finger on a rose thorn, a drop of blood welling up. The pain is nothing compared to the ache in my chest. As I move to serve champagne, I catch sight of Jacob across the room. Our eyes meet for a brief moment, and despite everything, my heart skips a beat. The love I feel for him is a living, breathing thing, growing stronger even as it threatens to tear me apart. "More champagne, miss?" I ask a nearby guest, my voice barely above a whisper. She nods, oblivious to my inner turmoil. As I pour, I see Jacob approaching out of the corner of my eye. My hands tremble slightly, but I manage not to spill a drop. I stand in the corner of the studio, my fingers white-knuckling the tray of champagne flutes as Hilda directs Jacob and Trixa's photo shoot. Every word she utters is a knife twisting in my gut. "Jacob, darling, pull Trixa closer. Yes, like that. Now kiss her neck, slowly." I watch as Jacob's lips graze Trixa's skin, my chest tightening with each passing second. Trixa giggles, tilting her head to give him better access. The little vacation Trixa gave me never came to fruition. The moment Hilda heard I was out of the house, she forced me back, and now Now this. Perfect, Hilda crows. Now her forehead. Make it tender, Jacob. He complies, and I have to look away, blinking back tears. When I glance back, Hilda's eyes are locked on me, a cruel smile playing at her lips. Now kiss her properly, Jacob. Show us how much you love her. Their lips meet, and I feel my stomach lurch. The champagne glasses rattle slightly on my tray. Oh, you can do better than that, Hilda teases, her voice dripping with false sweetness. Really give it to her, Jacob. Like you mean it. I can't take it anymore. Excuse me, I mutter, setting down the tray and fleeing the room. In the hallway, I lean against the wall, struggling to breathe. Nyla, Hilda's voice rings out. We're not done here. I need you to accompany me on some errands for the wedding. I straighten up, forcing my face into a neutral expression. Of course, Mrs. Stone. As we drive to various vendors, Hilda chatters incessantly. Oh, Jacob is just over the moon about Trixa. You should see how he looks at her. It's like she hung the stars. The car pulls to a stop, and I get out with an armful of bags, willing myself not to react. That's wonderful, I manage to say. Isn't it? Hilda gushes. They're so perfect together. I've never seen two people more in love. Each word is a dagger, but I remain silent. I won't give her the satisfaction of seeing me break. As soon as Hilda's Mercedes disappears around the corner, I slump against the mahogany-paneled wall of the Stone Mansion's foyer. My legs give out and I slide to the floor, my crisp maid's uniform bunching around my thighs. The dam finally breaks. Damn, I whisper, hot tears streaming down my face. My chest heaves with silent sobs as I curl into myself, trying to make my body as small as I feel. I drag myself to the powder room, locking the door behind me. The pristine white marble countertop blurs as I grip its edge, staring at my reflection in the gilded mirror. You can do this, I tell myself, voice cracking. You have to. But the words ring hollow. I splash cold water on my face, the shock momentarily cutting through the despair. As I pat my skin dry with a monogrammed hand towel, I catch sight of the S embroidered in gold thread. Stone, the name that's become my prison. Back in the kitchen, I methodically polish the silver, each stroke of the cloth a reminder of how far I've fallen. The rhythmic motion is almost soothing until I notice my reflection in a serving spoon. My eyes are red-rimmed, my expression haunted. I move to the living room, dusting the endless shelves of leather-bound books I'll never have time to read. My fingers linger on a medical text, a bittersweet reminder of the career I've lost. What would Grandpa say if he could see me now? The thought slips out, and fresh tears threaten to fall. I force myself to keep moving, straightening pillows and adjusting curtains. But every task feels like another nail in the coffin of my dreams. The silence offers no comfort, no answers, just the crushing weight of hopelessness pressing down on me. Chapter 98. Nyla. I'm on my hands and knees, scrubbing the pristine marble floor of Hilda's bedroom for what feels like the 1000th time. My back aches, and my fingers are raw from the harsh cleaning chemicals. Every muscle in my body screams for rest, but I can't stop. Not if I want to keep my grandfather's treatment going. This is ridiculous, I mutter under my breath, wringing out the sponge with more force than necessary. I'm a nurse. For cry's sake, not a... The door creaks open and I freeze, terrified it might be Hilda, but it's just the breeze from an open window. I exhale slowly, my heart still racing. As I rise to move the bucket, my gaze lands on Hilda's ornate mahogany desk. Something glints in the afternoon sunlight streaming through the window. I inch closer, curiosity overriding my better judgment. It's a key. Small, silver, and oddly familiar. My breath catches in my throat as I realize why. It's nearly identical to the one Marcus left me, the one that opens half of that damned safety deposit box. No way, I whisper, reaching out to touch it. My fingers hover just above the cool metal. It can't be. But it is. The intricate pattern on the head of the key matches mine perfectly. This has to be the missing piece. I glance nervously at the door, then back at the key. My mind races with possibilities. If I take it, I could finally uncover whatever Marcus wanted me to find. But if Hilda catches me, screw it, I decide, snatching the key and slipping it into my pocket. The weight of it feels like an anchor, grounding me in this moment of defiance. A wave of exhilaration washes over me, chasing away the exhaustion and despair that have plagued me for weeks. For the first time in ages, I feel a spark of hope. Time to see what you've been hiding, Marcus, I murmur, a small smile tugging at my lips. I clutch the key in my pocket as I dial the Stone family's house manager. My heart races, afraid they'll see through my lie. I'm so sorry, I croak, faking a cough. I've come down with something awful. I don't think I'll be able to stay today. The manager buys it, telling me to rest up. I hang up, exhaling slowly. Guilt gnaws at me, but I push it aside. This is too important. I hail a cab and give the driver Kevin's law firm address. The city blurs past as I rehearse what I'll say to him. By the time we arrive, my palms are sweating. Kevin's receptionist eyes me warily as I approach. Do you have an appointment? No, but it's urgent. Please, just 5 minutes? She sighs and buzzes Kevin's office. After a brief exchange, she nods. Go on in. I step into Kevin's plush office, my heart pounding in my chest. The floor-to-ceiling windows offer a breathtaking view of the city, and expensive artwork adorns the walls. It's exactly the kind of place I'd expect for a hotshot lawyer like him. Kevin looks up from his desk, curiosity flickering across his chiseled face. His piercing blue eyes lock onto mine, making my stomach do a little flip. Nyla, what are you doing here? His deep voice sends a shiver down my spine. God, I hope this works. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for what I'm about to do. I force a shy smile, batting my eyelashes just a little. I came to apologize. I was such an idiot before. I take a step closer, my fingers nervously playing with the hem of my uniform. Kevin leans back in his leather chair, his expression guarded. One eyebrow arches skeptically. Oh, he says, his tone a mix of curiosity and suspicion. I can practically see the wheels turning in his head, trying to figure out my angle. I move closer, perching on the edge of his desk. I've been thinking about you nonstop. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I threw it away. His eyebrows shoot up. What about Jacob? I wave my hand dismissively. Jacob, please. He doesn't hold a candle to you. He treated me like dirt, but you're smart, successful, kind. I trail my fingers along his arm, not to mention incredibly sexy. Kevin's eyes darken with desire. He catches my hand, pulling me closer. Is that so? I nod, leaning in. I was hoping you'd give me another chance. Let me make it up to you. A slow grin spreads across his face. Well, I suppose I could be persuaded. I smile, triumphant. The key burns in my pocket, reminding me of my true purpose. But for now, I play along, determined to see this through. I lean in close, my lips brushing Kevin's ear. Let me show you how sorry I am. My heart races as I walk over and lock the office door, the soft click echoing in the silence. Kevin's eyes follow me as I saunter back, hips swaying. I straddle him, relishing the heat of his body against mine.
You won't know what hit you, baby. going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance. Chapter 99. Nyla. Looks like the level of passion in this chapter is pushing YouTube's limit.
It's disappointing, I know. Trust me when I say we want nothing more than to get down to the dirty details.
But releasing these free audiobooks on YouTube means that we have to abide by the rules.
Even though YouTube won't allow us to put something so spicy on the air, you can still find it on tylawalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an unbelievable collection of uncut, unabridged audiobooks and ebooks.
For access to the full, unfiltered scene, go to tylawalker.com and use code SAVE40 for 40% off any digital product.
This is the deal of a lifetime, a discount that can be applied to bundles that are already listed at a discounted price.
You heard that right. It's time for you to treat yourself.
With Miss Tyla.
Chapter 100. Kevin, I can't believe what just happened. Nyla Thomas is back in my arms. And holy damn, she's different. Gone is the timid nurse I knew before. This Nyla is a goddamn force of nature, confident and in control. It's like she's been reborn, and I'm here for every second of it. Sitting in post-release bliss, I can't tear my eyes away from her heaving chest in that seductive maid getup. I'm both completely satiated and desperate for more. I need this again and again, every day for the rest of my life. But she gets gingerly to her feet, smiling as innocently as a succubus who's just devoured a soul. My eyes follow her every move, drinking in the sight of her. "See something you like, counselor?" she teases, her voice dripping with newfound confidence. And I realize that this is just how she likes it. Damn, that's hot. She's playing me like a fiddle, and I'm loving every second of it. She pulls a sack out of her purse, extracting clothes from it. As we dress, I can't help but stare, mesmerized. She's slipping on a power suit that screams authority, and I'm struck by how much she's changed. It's like she's shed her old skin and emerged as this powerful, sexy-as-hell woman who knows exactly what she wants. And right now, that seems to be me. "Kevin, darling," she purrs, adjusting her blazer with a deliberate slowness that makes my mouth go dry. "Ready to go to the bank?" I blink, caught off guard by her sudden shift in demeanor. My brain struggles to keep up with this new, commanding Nyla. "The bank? Now?" I manage to stammer out, feeling like I'm 2 steps behind. She flashes a smile that's equal parts seductive and dangerous, her eyes glinting with mischief. "Of course. We have some unfinished business to attend to." The way she says unfinished business sends a shiver down my spine. I scramble to keep up as she strides out of my office, her heels clicking confidently on the polished floor. Damn, when did she become so formidable? In the elevator, she stands tall, exuding an air of command I've never seen before. I can't help but steal glances at her, mesmerized by this transformation. At First Republic Bank, Nyla marches straight to the front desk like she owns the place. The teller looks up, startled by her presence, and I don't blame them. Hell, I'm still reeling from this new side of her. She's radiating power and purpose, and I'm just along for the ride, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I need access to my safety deposit box, Nyla demands, her voice brooking no argument. Christ, she's like a force of nature. I've never seen her like this before, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't turning me on. The teller stammers, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but without proper identification." Nyla cuts him off, her eyes flashing. "I have the keys and all necessary documentation. Now, are you going to assist me, or do I need to speak with your manager?" The poor bastard behind the counter doesn't stand a chance. I watch in awe as the teller scrambles to comply, practically tripping over himself to do her bidding. Who is this woman? She's nothing like the Nyla I knew before. This new version of her is intoxicating. As we're led to the vault, I can't help but lean in close, catching a whiff of her perfume. "Nyla, what's going on?" I whisper, my curiosity getting the better of me. She simply winks at me, a mischievous glint in her eye that sends a jolt straight through my body. And, needless to say, I like this Nyla. No, scratch that. I love it. Powerful, commanding, and sexy as hell. I've got to admit, I'm dying to see what she does next. I watch in awe as she confidently approaches the safety deposit box. Her fingers dance over the lock, inserting the first key with practiced ease. The box opens with a satisfying click, revealing another, smaller box inside. She inserts a new key into the second box, and I hold my breath. The lock turns smoothly, and the lid pops open. My jaw drops as Nyla reaches in and pulls out a stack of documents. "Holy damn," I breathe. "What are those?" Nyla's eyes sparkle with triumph as she scans the papers. "Everything I need." I lean in, trying to catch a glimpse. Need for what? But Nyla's already tucking the documents into her blazer. She turns to me, a mischievous grin playing on her lips. Now. A girl's gotta have some secrets. Before I can protest, she leans in and plants a quick kiss on my cheek. The scent of her perfume lingers. "I'll be in touch," she purrs, already striding towards the exit. I stand there, dumbfounded, watching her walk away. Part of me wants to chase after her, demand answers. But a bigger part is just turned on. This new Nyla, with her power and confidence, is irresistible. Damn, I whisper to myself, adjusting my tie. What a woman.
Chapter 101. Nyla. I stare at the documents spread across the desk, my eyes glazing over as I try to make sense of the chemical formulas and scribbled notes. The library's hushed atmosphere only amplifies my frustration. I'm so close to answers, yet they might as well be written in hieroglyphics. Any luck? Kira's voice startles me from my concentration. I look up, relief washing over me. Thank God you're here. I'm drowning in these papers. Kira slides into the chair next to me, her eyes already scanning the documents. Let's see what we've got. I push the papers towards her. It's all gibberish to me, but you're the expert, right? Kira's brow furrows as she examines the formulas. This is interesting. Where did you get these? The deposit box. I bite my lip, hesitating. I found the key in Hilda's room. Figured it was worth a shot. Kira's head snaps up, her eyes wide. Hilda? As in Hilda Stone? She leans in, lowering her voice. Nyla, if she had this key, she must have been the one who ransacked my apartment. My stomach drops. Oh, damn. I didn't even think. It's okay. Kira cuts me off, her focus already back on the papers. This changes everything. I lean in, desperate for answers. What do you mean? What are we looking at? Kira's fingers dance over the pages, her eyes widening with each line she reads. The anticipation builds in my chest, threatening to burst. I lean in closer, trying to decipher the scribbles and formulas that seem to hold the key to everything. "This is incredible," Kyra whispers, her voice barely audible. She looks up at me, her expression a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Nyla, do you realize what you've gotten your hands on?" I shake my head, my heart racing. "I would if you would tell me already. What is it?" Kyra finally says, "Once you understand the game you're about to play, it will be unlike anything you've faced before. This is going to change your world." "I'm ready," I insist eagerly. "What is it?" Kira's eyes lock onto mine, her gaze intense and unwavering. "This is the missing formulation for Neuromax, the intellectual property that Marcus developed and patented. This formulation is the key to making Neuromax a successful billion-dollar drug. The Stone Hospital Group needs this to succeed." My breath catches in my throat. The weight of her words crashes over me like a tidal wave. I grip the edge of the table, steadying myself. "You now hold in your hands the power to change everything," Kyra continues, her voice low and urgent. "How you choose to use this power is up to you, but you're playing in a completely different ballgame now." "Congratulations, Nyla." I stare at the papers scattered across the table, my mind reeling. "Holy damn," I whisper, the enormity of the situation sinking in. This is huge." Kira nods, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "That's putting it mildly." I run my fingers over the formulas, tracing the lines that now hold my future. "So what do I do with this? I mean, I can't just waltz into Stone Hospital and demand, what, money? Power?" Kira leans back in her chair, studying me. "That's up to you." I scoff, my eyes widening in disbelief. "Kira, wait. You're acting like this is all about me. But Marcus didn't just leave me a key. He left you one too, remember? This involves both of us." Kira shifts in her seat, her gaze dropping to the papers scattered across the table. "Nyla, No, I cut her off, leaning forward. "I know you haven't been my mother for long, but I want you to be in this with me. I need someone I can trust, and right now, that's you." The tension in Kira's shoulders eases slightly, but uncertainty still clouds her eyes. "Are you sure about this? It's a lot to take on." I reach across the table, taking her hand in mine. "I'm sure. We're in this together, okay? No more secrets, no more hiding. Just us figuring this out." Kira squeezes my hand, a small smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. "All right then, together it is." I stand up, pulling Kira to her feet and into a tight hug. The scent of her perfume, something floral and familiar, washes over me. For a moment, I let myself sink into the embrace, savoring the feeling of having a mother again. "Thank you," I whisper, my voice muffled against her shoulder. Kira pulls back, her hands resting on my shoulders. "No, thank you, Nyla, for giving me a chance to be here for you." I nod, my mind already racing with possibilities. For once, I have the upper hand. We have the upper hand. They can't push us around anymore. "Just be careful," Kira warns. "This isn't just about getting even. People's lives are at stake here, including your grandfather's." The mention of my grandfather sobers me. I take a deep breath, squaring my shoulders. "You're right. I need to be smart about this. Strategic." Kira reaches out, squeezing my hand. "And you will be. You've come this far, Nyla. Trust yourself." I look down at our joined hands, then back at the papers that hold the key to my future. A slow smile spreads across my face. Well then, I guess it's time to show the Stones what Nyla Thomas is really made of.
Chapter 102. Jacob. I stand at the head of the boardroom table, my palms pressed against the cool, polished wood. The weight of expectant gazes from the Stone Hospital Group board members bears down on me. My throat tightens as I prepare to shatter their hopes and dreams for Neuromax. Ladies and gentlemen, I begin, my voice steadier than I feel. I've called this meeting to address the elephant in the room, Neuromax. A murmur ripples through the room. I catch my mother's eye, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. Despite our best efforts, I continue, we've hit a wall. The truth is, we don't have the complete formulation for Neuromax. The critical piece, the key to its effectiveness, was never owned by Stone Hospital Group. The room erupts in shocked whispers. Derek, seated to my right, nods grimly. What do you mean, Jacob? My father demands, his face flushing with anger. How is that possible? I take a deep breath. The missing component was owned by Marcus Swan. Without it, we're left with an ineffective drug that's failing more often than it should in clinical trials. Trixa stands abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. That can't be true. My father would have told me. I'm sorry, Trixa, I say, meeting her gaze. But it is. We've been chasing our tails trying to replicate something we never had. So what you're saying, my mother interjects, her voice dangerously calm, is that we can't produce a viable product? I nod, the weight of my admission crushing me. That's correct. Without the exact chemical compound, Neuromax is essentially useless. The boardroom erupts into chaos. Papers flutter, chairs scrape against the floor, and voices rise in a cacophony of panic and disbelief. I stand firm, my knuckles white as I grip the edge of the table. Gentlemen, please, I say, raising my voice to cut through the din. We need to approach this rationally. Rationally, sputters Mr. Hawthorne, his jowls quivering with indignation. You've just told us we're sitting on a multi-billion-dollar dud. I nod, acknowledging the gravity of the situation. I understand your concern, Mr. Hawthorne, but losing our heads won't solve anything. What about our investors? Miss Chen interjects, her usually calm demeanor cracking. They'll crucify us when they find out. If they find out, mutters Derek under his breath. I shoot him a warning glance before addressing the room. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We're in a precarious position. Without that missing component, we're looking at potential insolvency. The word hangs in the air like a guillotine blade. My father's face turns an alarming shade of purple. Insolvency, he spits. Stone Hospital Group has never... As I struggle to maintain control of the room, the boardroom door swings open. My heart nearly stops as Nyla strides in, her head held high. The chaos dies instantly, replaced by a stunned silence. She's a vision of power and grace, her transformation from the meek nurse I once knew striking me like a physical blow. Her hair, usually pulled back in a practical bun, now cascades over her shoulders in sleek waves. The tailored navy suit she wears accentuates every curve, a far cry from the shapeless scrubs of her nursing days. But it's not just her appearance that's changed. There's a newfound confidence radiating from her, an aura of authority that commands the room's attention. Her chin is lifted, her gaze steady and unflinching as it sweeps across the stunned faces of the board members. I barely even noticed the woman standing beside her. They look like they could be sisters. And then that bastard Kevin, standing there like the pompous lawyer he is. What the hell is going on? Gentlemen, ladies, she says, her voice clear and strong. I believe I have something you're looking for. I can't tear my eyes away from her. The way she carries herself, the subtle sway of her hips as she approaches the table. It's intoxicating. I'm acutely aware of how close she is, the faint scent of her perfume teasing my senses. Who the hell are you? Mr. Hawthorne sputters, his face turning an even deeper shade of red. This is a private meeting. Nyla doesn't spare him a glance. Her eyes lock onto mine, and I see a fire there that both terrifies and exhilarates me. She's holding a stack of papers in her perfectly manicured hand. These, Nyla says, her voice clear and strong, are copies of the missing Neuromax formulation. The originals are safe. Don't worry. Her lips curve into a smile that's equal parts sweet and deadly. But what I have here is the intellectual property that I own. The room erupts again, but Nyla raises her voice over the din. Which means I own Neuromax, which means I own this group, which means I own this entire operation. My mother's face goes pale. Trixa looks like she's been slapped. I can't breathe. Nyla's eyes sweep the room, landing on each board member in turn. Basically, I own all your asses. I own this whole thing. Her gaze settles on me, and I swear I can feel the heat of it. For a moment, no one moves. Then my father lunges forward, his face purple with rage. You little... Dad, don't, I warn, grabbing his arm. To Nyla, I say, How? How did you get this? She shrugs, a casual gesture that belies the steel in her eyes. Does it matter? What matters is that I have it, and you need it. This is preposterous, my mother hisses. You can't possibly... Oh, but I can, Nyla cuts her off. And I will. Unless, of course, you'd like to see Neuromax fail spectacularly and watch your hospital crumble. The threat hangs in the air, heavy and undeniable. I look at Nyla, really look at her, and I see the woman I fell in love with, fierce, brilliant, unstoppable. And I realize with a mix of pride and fear that she's outplayed us all. No, my mother whispers, and I realize she's just understood that the rules of this game have changed. Yes, says Nyla. Sit the damn down, Hilda Stone. I sit down, inadvertently following her command as we all look up to her. This dam belongs to me now.
Hey, fam. So when we started this story, everyone thought this was another one of Miss Tyla's fake marriages? Well, I think all y'all realize it's a whole lot more than that. Secrets and lies and drama and deceit. Don't worry. The story is just getting started, and Season 2 is coming real fast. If you don't want to wait, you can always go and get the full bundle for Season 2 at TylaWalker.com. Otherwise, don't worry. Episodes will drop Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thanks for watching Say Less I Love You. We'll see you in Season 2.
Nyla Thomas thought she was getting a simple fake marriage.
Marry me and I'll pay for your grandfather's treatment.
It's just business, right?
Right.
But little did she know the viper's nest she was coming into.
You may try to better yourself, Nyla, but you will never catch up to your betters.
I make the rules, Nyla. You follow them.
They beat her down, took her dignity. What they never expected was
That she would fight back.
I have the missing piece. I own this now. I own all of you now.
come into Season 2 of Say Less I Love You and find out what happens when you push a woman too far.